So now that I have made the decision to use my standard hobonichi weeks for 2026, I wanted to share this mind map that I made to help me come to the decision. I think I filmed this one in one of my monthly notebook videos, but this was when I was still deciding between going for the mega and the standard, and I did decide to go with the standard for 2026. I got the black paper series. It kind of has I think it's called gingham, but it's the same one that I used in 2024 and that I had started in 2025. Since I know I actually do like the material and the look, and black is my favorite color. But once I had made the decision to use a standard hobonichi weeks, then came on how can I actually make it work and make sure that I use it proper, or use it to make sure I'm actually productive. And so the first point was that I actually used a standard before. I initially started actually in 2022 is when I first tried it out during that fall 2022, and that led me to picking up this one for 2023 and actually using it the entire year, and it was very successful. Let me see if I can find. I used the pages a lot. The only thing, both of these years, the notes were the part that I struggled with. So that's why sometimes it's hard to believe that I filled so many note pages and how the note pages have become such a core part of my system this year. But yeah, I used it a lot. It worked really well for me. So I know I can make it work. Then it comes to 2024, where I wasn't as successful, but I had a lot of personal life changes that affected, my frequency of using it, since I was transitioning from corporate life to going back, to get my master's degree. And I was okay in the beginning, but by the end of the year, I had a lot of blank pages, which you can see. I think I have a flip through of this up on YouTube if you want to actually see more in depth. But what I took from this was, I know I can be successful as seen in 2023. And in 2024, one of the things was I let weeks go by without touching it. So I just need to make sure I'm scheduling time in my because I use a time blocking method in my digital Google Calendar. So I just need to make sure I have a few spots to schedule in specific time to fill out my weeks, sort of how I like to do now, though I probably need to be a little bit better at it, since I just don't want to wait until the weekend to actually touch my planner, or just go more than 2 or 3 days without touching it, which that was the issue, is I was only really touching it during the weekend. And I wasn't really using it. I was more just it felt more like I was just filling it out by the end of the year. While here it felt like it was actually being a productivity tool. And I think another thing was my system stayed pretty stable during 2023. I didn't make too many changes, while 2024 I felt like I was kind of everywhere. It was definitely a period where I was trying to figure out what I liked in certain aspect, and I think trying to keep my system, the rest of my system, simple will really help to not get overwhelmed and to not take on too many extra notebooks, since usually my core system stays somewhat consistent, but sometimes I like to add a lot of extra notebooks, and it can be overwhelming to always have a project, if that makes sense. Then another one of my point was just to make this something I actually want to open. So I really like layering like sticky notes, or I like my little vision boards, like my monthly one. That was a new thing I added this year. I really liked my little mini book review. Let me, like these. So those were really fun to do. I also want to make sure that my weekly layout is an actual like functional weekly layout. So I want to make sure that it works for me, but also I would like it to look somewhat cute. And then notes, make sure that I like the way that they look, because I'll actually open them. If I don't like the layout, I rather just set up a new one and forget the old one, because if I don't like looking at a page, I will try to avoid it. Another point is, so this year I will have 71 note pages. Usually like this, it only varies by maybe like 10 pages or so, I feel like, from year to year. I forget how many did this one have. Hold on, I want to make sure I don't share personal information because I forget what's back here. Okay, so this one also had 71, and then 2024. This one had 69. So only a page difference or 2-page difference. But they can change, and I think even the English edition might have a different number. I'm not sure, because this is the Japanese version. But so there are 71 note pages, and I did some math. So essentially, I like to usually have a dashboard and a sort of like what I currently list for that month, and usually so those take up 2 pages, which means I would have 2 free pages to take whatever notes, and that would be a total of 4 pages per month, which would ultimately leave me with 23 pages to make the rest of my yearly collections at the start of my planner, since that's usually how I like to set it up, which I am very comfortable with that number, because I have all these extra pages, I don't even really think twice about adding something like these. These could have easily just been done on another piece of paper, and I could have stuck it into my planner, or just like been done with it once I've like written my thoughts out. But because I have all these note pages, I don't mind adding this in. So I guess that will be something I'll have to be a little bit more conscious of how quickly I'm using up pages, which I'll probably put like mark, I shouldn't pass this pages by like March of that year, or like June, just to make sure. But again, maybe one month I only need like 3 pages, but another month I need 5. So like that's where I will have to kind of like watch out to see like am I on track, like balance wise. And I don't think I will actually need 23 pages to like do my beginning of the year like collection pages. But again, I may have a month where I have a lot to document, or have a lot of lists to make. Or I might also want to remake some of those collections if I no longer use them, since sometimes I find by the midway point of the year, I can kind of get bored of certain things, or maybe a collection I set up at the beginning of the year just doesn't apply, or I need to like add certain rows to it because things change. So that's a good opportunity. But it's kind of hard to tell whether 71 will be enough, because both of these years I was really unsuccessful with using the note pages. I would start off strong and ultimately fail. But I did have certain layouts that worked well, so that those are like my dashboard that came from my 2023 weeks. So that was something that I really liked. So it's more, I'm going to have to just kind of take some time to brainstorm within the next 2-ish months, essentially. Yeah, because I'm going to probably set it up in November and December, since I want to move into it right away. Oh yeah, so I noticed that one of the reasons that I kind of also fell off in 2024 was I did not have certain things like printed out and ready to go, which just meant like maybe I was waiting. Since I make some of my stickers, I make myself. Some of them I buy from like shops. And if I didn't have a certain sticker for that week, I would just wait until I had like made more of that to actually fill this out, which was really bad because it just meant that I would sometimes just wait and wait. And that is why there are definitely empty note pages like here. I don't know. I could probably find a worse one. I feel like or maybe not. I don't know. But essentially, also even like, I know now my like mini book reviews, sometimes I would wait to fill them out even in here because I needed more of these little things printed out, because at least this I can just like the actual like book cover, I can just print this out when I have time, because I don't have a color printer at home, so I do just go to print them out at FedEx. So I just wait until I have a full page of photos, so that's a little bit less of an issue. But this is easy to like print a bunch and cut them all up. Then again, my little mini vision boards that I like to do every month. I usually am pretty good at having these like printed out, but sometimes I do wait until the last minute to figure out what I want, what photos I want, and that can be an issue because then I'm just waiting to set certain things up. So that's something for me to think about. And then my little icons from Megan Rhiannon. Sometimes I will run out of a certain type, and that's really annoying as well. So I want to make sure I kind of do like some batch printing for preparation for 2026. Especially since I can keep them in like, I got little baggies, so I can keep them a lot more organized, since I do use a different size for the monthly and for my like notes. These are a little bit bigger. Since I have the digital, I like purchased the digital, so I can resize them to what I want. But yeah, essentially just I need to make sure that I have things printed out and ready, so I'm not waiting on anything, because it'll be kind of a combination of I'll wait and then I'll go 2 to 3 days without filling it out, and then it kind of is a cycle, and I'll just wait more time and I'll keep pushing off the task, and that is not good. But overall, I'm really hoping to use these notes to help me make my 2026 hobonichi weeks a success, and also just a useful tool for my productivity. But if you have any more tips for me, please just leave them in the comments below. Thanks. So I wanted to share this little idea I had to put some of my main tasks or goals for the season, with some little events sprinkled into this bingo format. So sometimes for me, looking at like a list of just text of just all the goals and tasks that I need to get done within a few months, so like a season, can be really daunting or just like overwhelming. And I saw people making bingos for their yearly goals. And during the summer, I thought, you know what, let me create sort of a summer bingo with the things I would like to accomplish, as well as some like events going on or like little things. And I can use some little silver stickers and mark these off every time that I accomplish something. These are from, I believe it was Amazon. So if you're looking for something similar and need help, just leave a comment below. But yeah, so like for example, like here I have like, I want to rewatch a fall TV show, or I would like to mark when I complete one of my courses for my master's degree, or I want to film my 2026 hobonichi haul. And I see like I actually have finished that, so let me mark that off. Let's see, take a little sticker, mark it off, and boom. And while I didn't get everything done on my summer one, it was really nice to just be able to see that progress, that I was completing things. And then anything that is left, if it is more of a task or goal rather than like a small little thing, I can just move that to the next one. But I also saw like some people like, oh, if you get like a row like completely done, or you get like a whole blackout, you can like treat yourself to a little reward. And overall, I just thought this was a fun little way to write down some goals and tasks, and thought that other people might be interested to see this if you are like me and can get sometimes overwhelmed, or a long list can feel like really daunting sometimes, especially like during a stressful period. This is just a really fun way of like putting a little sticker when you get something done. So I recently made an order to Jet Pens, and I wanted to share some of the stationery goodies that I picked up this time. So first, I got 3 more of the Leuchtturm 1917 pocket or A6 notebooks in the blank version. I have been using a blank version for a little bit, and essentially I just have a grid, a 4mm grid that I made that I just slip behind the page so I can write straight in the blank version. Since that was a reason that I had stopped using these, was I write too small for the 5mm grid, but I still like to use the grid lines in order to write straight. So this was a way for me to be able to use the notebook again without sacrificing something else. So I got some more since I have an upcoming project where I need them. Plus, I always have a use for these, so anytime I need to qualify, sometimes for like free shipping on Jet Pens, I'll usually add one of these to the cart. Then I had picked up some stickers, which I have technically already, I took them out of the packaging, but I have this music one since I'm thinking about starting a album review little like insert or notebook, and I needed some of these. And then these are for some I really like these sheets, and I have some plans for how I will use them up, and I plan to add them to my sticker book, since here I have some Satelier, which I adore. I recently refilled some of the pages since I had used a good amount up, but these are definitely a favorite sticker brand of mine in the past like year. So I'm always excited to find some sheets that are at least new to me, since not every place has every single sheet available. So very excited to take some time to add these back in here, because this is really nice to just have all of my stickers in one place, so I don't have all these sheets just kind of like flying everywhere. I also picked up some Kikuyo sticky notes. So these are another more like recent favorite of mine this year. These are like little squares, and then I forget how big or like what's that exact measurement. Oh, here. 25 by 15 millimeters. And these are 25 by 25 millimeters. These are great, and I like the stickiness of them. And these are perfect for using in the Hobonichi Weeks planner, which is a smaller planner. So I find that I haven't found any brand that makes these at like a reasonable price with like a good amount of sheets. There's 100 sheets for this, so I would definitely recommend picking these up if you use small planners. And lastly, I picked up a Hobonichi Weeks, what is this, like, I forget the specific name, like the elastic closure that you essentially like put in the back of the planner and then use this to like close it. I already had one for the cousin, but I needed one for the week since I'm interested in going, switching back to the clear cover for the Hobonichi Weeks Mega, since my handwrite cover is starting to get a little bit more difficult to zip it up since I have stuffed my planner a lot this year. So I think I probably will be ending the year in the clear cover, and I thought this would be good to like keep it closed for when I need it. Plus, again, these are great to reuse year by year. But because this was a Hobonichi product, and I did make the order, I think, after the Hobonichi launch for 2026, it came with this little booklet, and I thought I would show, since it is in English, in case you're interested, since it does go over the product. So feel free to pause at any pages that you would like to look, but I thought this was great for if you never used the notebooks. It goes over the sizes that are available, as well as, I thought this was nice, the recommended uses for certain things. And it also shows like, hey, like this comes in the box. Certain Hobonichi features. And some like examples for how some people use this. So I haven't seen anybody post about this, but I don't know if they came with people who were buying from Hobonichi or Hobonichi products on JetPens. Since I didn't get anything like this in my Hobonichi order that I made straight through the website. So I don't know if this is maybe like a US retailer thing, but I thought it was really nice. Like even like the little stationery, like the pencil boards that I love. And some of the stencils were like, they came out with pens that match the Hobonichi, what is it, Cousin and A6 grid. And then a little bit about the app and the website. And I also definitely recommend visiting the website for their downloads. If you're unaware, they have some free downloads in the Cousin, Weeks, and A6 size. Especially like some of the like reference pages at the end of the book. You can sometimes find them if you want more of those pages. But I thought this was really cute. If you have questions about this, definitely let me know, and I can post some of the pictures over on my Instagram. The music artist Sombr released an album at the end of August, and as I have had it on repeat since then, I wanted to document it in my notes of my Hobonichi Weeks planner. I'm usually the type of music listener where I only really like maybe 1 or 2 songs from an album or an artist, so it's not very often where I find that I love an entire album or multiple songs from an artist. But I have just been really loving the rhythm of the music as well as just the lyrics and the whole vibe of the album. I've literally added all of the songs to my fall playlist on Spotify since I just feel like it just feels like fall. But with my Pilot Vanishing Point fountain pen, I am writing just a few lines on my thoughts on the album, my top 5 songs, as well as just some favorite lyrics at that moment. I think this will be really fun to look back on, that this was an album that I was just listening to a lot, that I really loved.